Hey Oaks, I'm back with another video. Okay, so I'm not gonna do that anymore. The standard YouTube greeting thing just feels a bit odd to me now. You know, it's worked for a whole lot of other people, and as more of us are coming to YouTube, it just sort of feels like I'm like following the standard format and it doesn't quite work for me. So just hi guys, like hello. Also, what we're not gonna do is judge me for stealing my son's Capri Sun. Because these things go in you. I understand Malume Bajang didn't answer because I mean some of the stuff is really good. Anyway, um, yeah, so there were just a lot of like preconceptions. Is preconception a word? I know misconception is. I don't know. So preconception has become a word, at least now. Okay, so I think what I'm going for is preconceived notion, right? Preconceived notion, I've heard that before, I've used that before, and so I'm more comfortable using that, so we're gonna go with preconceived notion. Yeah, so I had a lot of preconceived notions about Dubai, and we're gonna just jump straight into chatting about all the things about Dubai that I didn't expect before I moved here. Actually, not only before I moved here, like even before I got to visit, because some things when I came to visit, I just didn't quite expect. Number one, which was a big thing for me, was public displays of affection. Like I felt like, if you so much as held hands in public, you are going to jail. And that's not the case at all. Yeah, my husband and I are pretty affectionate as a couple. So like, I was just like, I was scared to hug him at the airport and like didn't want to hold his hand. And I was just like, ah. And he was like, okay, you need to calm down. And I felt like we were literally going to go to jail the whole time I was here the first time. And I've realized, I mean, obviously it is a Muslim country and you have to obey the rules, but it is reasonable. It's not one of those things where like, if you guys link pinkies, a SWAT team is going to come and like take you guys away. People hold hands in most places, at the mall, walking down the street. Obviously you have to keep an eye out for where you are, stay aware like most things. There are more conservative parts of town, so you just might want to keep that to a minimum. In the more touristy areas, people so much as peck each other and hug each other and hold each other, and I haven't seen anyone like being hauled off to prison because of it. Obviously, like don't dry hump or like heavily make out or whatever. But within reason, like holding a person's hand or a little peck here won't get you in trouble. I don't suggest it on like the train. Maybe people will take up more issue than say at a restaurant or whatever, or at a chilled sort of space. So yeah, there are other Emirates that are very conservative. Like if you're in Sharjah, just don't hold hands. You keep a brotherly, sisterly gap, just because it is very conservative there and it's not your country. So you want to make the locals feel comfortable and respect their rules and their space. And Dubai is really great about their PR, right? Like before I came, like years ago, I remember like when my brother was a teenager and talking about like the police, they drive Lamborghinis. And sure, I've seen it at like, if there's like an event or like a road show and the police are coming to, kind of like expose. But I have never, guys, not once, even like a super fancy Beamer. I've seen like, the standard ones, like what JMPD has. So like, Beamers and I don't know, they have like Fortuners and like regular cars, but like I'm not saying the police don't have, they certainly do have those cars in their arsenal, but I've never seen a Lamborghini just chilling on the side of the road like waiting for the speedsters to come so that they could chase. I've never seen a cop patrolling in a Lambo or in something that makes your jaw drop. But that being said, you do see a lot of Lambos on the road. You see them everywhere that you go. Black people here don't really greet each other. Like in South Africa, even though it's a majority black country, there are lots of spaces where you move and you are one of a few black people, especially like in corporate or just, in those sorts of scenarios where like you will band together as common people. It happens everywhere you go. It's easy to connect with people who look like you. It's easy to connect with everyone if you're open. But you know what I mean, as in if you feel like a minority and just like a little safety in numbers kind of thing. And so when I got here, I used to be like ready to smile at like every black woman, like, hi, how's it going? And just trying to make friends because I didn't have a tribe yet. And it was awkward because like, you'll try to be like, hi, and the person's like, mm. And so like I also had to put rein myself in pretty much, everyone won't want to be friends just because you're black or walking down the street. And that's an obvious lesson of life. It's just that I had become so used to in a space where we're minorities, like just, that nod. The black people know the nod, like the, I see you, you see me, like we're in this space, like we out here, and that doesn't always take it. It also doesn't always fail. I'm not saying like black people here are like inherently unfriendly and like don't want to talk to people or whatever. It's just that I had a lot more success in South Africa with the nod and the acknowledgement. Like sometimes, obviously, you're not going to end up friends because you're not compatible as people or whatever. But just the I see you, you see me, like a hey sis. But yeah, so like my first couple of weeks here, I think I overdid it. I think I did the most. I'll admit that. So it took me by surprise, but now I've learned. And it's actually, I have to say, not hard to make friends. People here are very friendly. And a lot of people are very open. But like everywhere else, some people are, some people aren't. It's not a certain race or certain this or certain that. People are people and they're going to act how they want to act. So yeah, my hey sis like phase has faded since, but it took me by surprise when I was still in that like mind frame, and I was just like, it hurt my feelings a little. But if you want to be friends, hey sis, what's up? I knew that this place was incredibly safe. But I didn't expect to feel as safe as I feel. I've walked to, there's like a little mall that's down the road from my house at 11 p.m. because they're open till midnight. And I didn't take the main road. And the back road isn't very well lit. It wasn't like I feel like taking risks. It's just over time, I've been here long enough to just know that I can do that without feeling like really scared. Catcalling isn't vicious here, and it's very like low key. So a guy will say it under his breath after he's walked, and it's never like, it's not even catcalling. They'll like greet you under their breath. So if you respond, it's kind of like throwing out a line more than it is catcalling. So it's like they mumble a hello as they walk past, and so you can just choose to ignore that. No one's gonna be like, hey, I said hello or whatever. Some dudes are creepy, but as soon as you say you're making me comfortable, stop, like they stop and go away, because there are consequences for catcalling or for making women feel uncomfortable here, which is great. You know what I mean? Like it's happened at the grocery store. I was with my son, and this guy's like, oh, he's your son. You don't look like you have kids. I'm like, oh, we get that a lot. Thanks. I carry on shopping. And then we're in the veggie aisle. So next aisle again, we happen to be next to each other. And he's like, you have a very nice body. And I was like, please stop. You're making me uncomfortable. Go away. And he went away. In South Africa, it would have been like, why are you so stuck up? And it would have been drama. And then, you know what I mean? Like it could have turned ugly. Whereas here, you tell them go away or leave me alone. And they go away and leave you alone, which is fantastic. And just walking down the street, I feel comfortable enough to send my son to the shop downstairs to go get something. And yeah, it's been such a relief, and I really love that about here. And it feels so good that it kind of like waters down how hectic school fees are and like the price of rentals here. It's crazy. Like it'll make you want to cry. So like if you are considering a job here or whatever, the salary might look good when you do the conversion and everything, but just keep in mind rentals and school fees. Oh my gosh. Like when you do the conversions back into rand, it's prohibitively expensive. And so it's one of those things that, when you're weighing it up, how safe we felt has been worth how much things cost here. Another thing about like just feeling safe as a woman, in public transport there's like women and children only carriages. So it's, it's sort of away from the men, it's demarcated by lines and whatever. And it helps, especially when public transport is full. The women's carriage will sometimes have fewer passengers, so you might like find a place to sit. The one time my son and I got onto a bus and he had his bike with him. Don't ask why I let him come out with a bike. But yeah, so he had his bike with him, and we caught a bus that was sort of when people knock off work, and it was packed. And so we're standing there with his bike. I'm trying to, so he's holding the bike and I'm holding him. So while the bus moves, like we don't fall. Um, and these very nice dudes who are also standing, like take the bike and they're like, no, we'll hold it, don't worry. So cool, what a relief. And then these two men as well gave up their seats so we could sit down. Like they really, the people here are very good to women and children especially. Even in the women's carriage, the one time my son and I were standing, it was full, and a lady gave up her seat so that he could sit. And so where I'm from, I'm like, the children stand, yo. I'm like, if you're giving up your seat, like I want to sit, but you know, it was for him, so I let him sit, and it was chilled vibes. But people here are very considerate of women with kids and just women in general. I think if you are, you know, traveling with a small child, bus drivers will actually like leave their bus to help you get the pram on if you're struggling, and that's just, I mean, it's very nice. It's very nice to see. I've seen or heard of like in trains in SA or anywhere else really, where like dudes are chilling when like there's a woman who's like heavily pregnant standing, and they're like, yeah, well, she shouldn't have gotten pregnant by a dude who doesn't have a car, and they don't really have that attitude here. Which is very nice. I mean, that does come with its downsides, because they are a bit paternalistic about women for my, I guess, Western tastes. But again, this is not my country, so I'm here to obey the rules. Like, you know what I mean? If you go to someone's house, you play by their rules, and if I don't like it, then I should go, right? If you don't like it, then don't come here, kind of thing. And so far, I don't have any like big problems with any of the rules here. By and large, they are reasonable, and you conduct yourself accordingly if you want to be here. To really round this off, one thing that I didn't expect was for us to love it this much. Like, we've had a great time so far, and like my son settled into school really well, and he's made a ton of friends. I had a bit of anxiety, like all parents do, an added layer of anxiety when you're black, because you don't know if, you know, there'll be kids who don't want to play with your kid, that sort of thing. And we really haven't experienced that. But Bo's made a lot of friends, and he's so happy, and he's adjusted very well. And I'm grateful for the opportunity to have brought him here, and for him to just see a different place and see that the world isn't so big and scary. So more than anything else, I think I'm really grateful for the opportunity to have brought him to a new place, and one that he's been able to cope and thrive in. I lived in the same house my whole life. My parents never moved, you know, and home base has always been one place. I had never been outside of Joburg for more than 3 weeks at a time, because, I don't know, I've never been able to afford a holiday longer than 3 weeks. So, you know, I've always come back to home base, and our lives were always very stable and in one place. And I think that makes you very comfortable. And to move out of my comfort zone the way that I have, I'm proud of myself. I'm proud of my son for adjusting. My husband's always been like a get up and go guy, and he came here first. But I'm proud of him for everything that he's been able to achieve since coming here. And so it's been a big learning curve, but it's one that I really appreciate and that I really love. And yeah, so we're going to see how long we stay here. We're going to see how things go. But so far, I'm absolutely loving Dubai. And if any of you ladies are out here in Dubai, please reach out. Let's meet up. Let's be friends. And to all the ladies in South Africa, again, any questions that you have, don't be afraid to give me a shout. And yeah, like I said, I'm done with like the YouTube sign-offs and stuff, because it just feels awkward, and like I'm trying to contort myself into something I'm not. So like, bye or whatever.